Yo, what's going on, guys? In today's video, I want to talk about an SMG in Wonderlands called the Livewire. Now, there is some background footage going on right now so that you guys can see how powerful this SMG is for just shredding through mobs. However, there are some very interesting interactions and damage formula math I want to point out to you guys, as well as, the damage testing I'm going to show you. And I like to think of this gun as a reverse face puncher because it adds gun damage to your melee hits. But also, I wanted to show you guys how to maximize the damage of this through our favorite Borderlands mechanic, double dipping. Yes, this legendary SMG will double dip, and I even found an interaction where we got some triple dipping off. But let me explain exactly how it double dips, because it's not the chains themselves that double dips, but pretty much the melee interaction altogether. So let's go ahead and break this down and hop straight into it. So first things first, when you're covering a weapon, everyone wants to know where to get it. And as far as I know, this thing actually does not have a dedicated drop. So the best place to farm for this is just gonna be in the Chaos Chamber with the crystals and the SMG bunny statue at the very end. Now, let's go ahead and talk about this gun and what exactly it does. So basically, this gun is like a child between the redistributor and the brainstormer, being an SMG like the redistributor, but it's more similar to the brainstormer in that it only comes in shock damage and it chains to other enemies. Now, what makes this gun really so powerful is that all of those chains can trigger any sort of gun damage effect. And for example, I have this one enchanted for Spore Warden. After activating Barrage, gun and ability damage has a 25% chance to cause that explosion, dealing 30% of the damage dealt as poison damage to nearby enemies. So when you shoot this gun, every enemy that it chains to will have a chance to trigger this anointment. It'll also have a chance to trigger different skills like play the angles, and I'm sure there's tons of things that trigger based off of gun damage in this game, and it will apply to this. Now, the other cool interaction, and something that I noticed, is when you punch with this gun in your hands, it's, like I said, a reverse face puncher, in that it adds gun damage to your melee hits. Now, it doesn't add gun damage to your melee hits by itself, more so that it adds that shock damage, and that shock damage gets melee bonuses. And let me show you what I mean. So let's go ahead, pull out our handy dandy calculator, and let's just do a simple damage test. So we have a 302 melee hit and 348 damage triggers. Now I noticed that this gun, it'll trigger every other melee hit. See that? No trigger, trigger. And every time it triggers, it ticks for 3 damage, or for 3 damage ticks each time. So you can see we have our base melee, and then we have 348 damage ticks. So let's go ahead and do the math real quick. 48 over 302, it adds about 16%. Now, I don't know why I always get 0.15 on this smaller numbers, but whenever we translate this to bigger numbers, I've noticed that using 0.16 is actually a little bit more accurate for some weird reason. Anyways, though, 0.16 times 3 is about 0.48. So what this gun does is it adds almost 48% shock damage to every other melee hit. That alone is a huge damage bonus. However, this gun adds way more than that. It adds gun damage bonuses as well, and let me show you what I mean. So we have this skill right here, Eagle Eye. This shouldn't do anything to our melee, right? However, 302 doesn't do anything to our melee, but all of a sudden we get 58 damage ticks. So let's go ahead and do the math. 302 times 0.16, multiply this by 1.2, and we get that 57.9, which rounds up to 58. So this gets your gun damage bonuses when you're punching. Now that's really insane because I'm not a spell shot main, but I'm pretty sure there is something where like spell shots can add gun and melee damages based on their spell damage, or there's some sort of class mod or something like that, or I'm pretty sure there's more items out there. But basically, that's an insane bonus. Now, not only that, but this also double dips, and let me show you guys what I'm talking about. So let me go ahead and add a general damage bonus to our build, which this amulet I have it adds 10% all damage dealt. Now you notice our melee is getting that 10%. It was 302, now it's 332. But let's go ahead and trigger some chains. So you see our chains are now doing 70 damage. So let's take 332, multiply this by about 0.16. We get 53. Now, that's weird, right? We should only be doing 53 damage, but we're doing 70 damage. Now keep in mind, the 10% is already applied into that 332, but we're gonna go ahead and apply it again to our chain. And it takes us up to 58. Oh, times the 1.2 gun damage bonus as well. So there we go, that's 70. And I showed you, we basically applied that 1.1 twice because our base melee hit is 302, times the 10% bonus gives us 332, times 0.16 to convert it to a shock chain, times another 10% double dip, times our gun damage bonus. There you go, I did the math twice for you guys, just to really prove it to you. And that is pretty crazy. Now, let's go even deeper. Let's get a triple dip. And let me just show you guys something really cool. So like I said, I have this anointment on mine, which triggers the melee explosions, the 30% damage, poison explosions. Let's go ahead and activate that. And we just punch away. And you can see we get those explosions. So let's do some quick math behind this. We got it to trigger. It doesn't always trigger. It's only a 25% chance to trigger. Keep that in mind. So 302 to 58 to 17. How did we get there? 302 times 0.16 times our gun damage bonuses. That takes us to 58 times 0.3. That gives us 17. Now I'm multiplying it by 0.3 because obviously these poison explosions only deal 30% of the bonus damage. Now, how do we get a triple dip? Let's go ahead and put this amulet back on. And let's just get it all to trigger. And let's just see what the game gives us. Come on. You're embarrassing me, game. There it is. Alrighty. So. This is a mess. Alright, so 332. 70, and then 22 poison damage. Let's go ahead and math this out. So we have 302 base, multiply this by our 10% damage bonus, 332, multiply this by about 0.16 to convert it over to this shock chain. We get this, then it gets our gun damage bonus. We get this, then we get our double dip. There's our double dip. We get 70. Now we convert this to our poison damage times 0.3, and then multiply this by poison versus flesh, 19, and then multiply this by another 1.1, which gives us that 22. So you see we're getting a triple dip off using these interactions, and that is pretty insane. I will be making a build just trying to spam this anointment with as much double and triple dipping damage bonuses as we can. And just as a quick question, you guys are probably wondering what double dips and what triple dips, and that is gonna be general damage bonuses like the Old Ways, Icebreaker, Wrath of Nature. You guys notice that this amulet is a general damage bonus and stuff like that. So this is some very cool stuff going on here. Not only did we get double dips, but if you add this anointment, we figured out a way to make it triple dip. And I'm sure there are so many more items, skills, interactions that you can find with this stuff. Comment down below what kind of cool things you think that this gun can do, or what kind of skills and interactions. And hopefully this gave you guys some ideas to have fun with this gun. I will definitely be working on a Spore Warden melee build, spamming this anointment and trying to just triple dip our melee, because Spore Warden isn't exactly a melee class. However, if we can add our gun damage bonuses as well as our gun damage triggers, maybe this will become a melee class. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Be sure to like and subscribe. I'll see you guys in the next one. I'm out.